You could change these sprinkler nozzles to rotating nozzles that put off water in a really slow pattern, kind of like a spring rain shower.
The Water Hero Award began in 2011 to highlight those in the community that are setting an example of resource efficiency with lasting water-saving actions. This year's award winner is no exception. The Eucalyptus Hill Homeowners Association recognized how much water their lawn areas were using and decided to do something about it.
Because we're an older HOA, we've been here since the early 70s, we have a lot of land, so that's a luxury for us. We're not dense, but having a lot of land, our water bills were very, very high. And we absolutely think that changing over and modifying to a more water-wise landscape will help us over the years. So that was one of the reasons why we wanted to do this.
After determining they wanted to remove the lawn, a committee was formed to discuss what the next steps would be.
The most challenging for me was just that I didn't have any idea where to start. So, we formed a committee and we looked at options, and we decided that just replacing the lawn wasn't going to work because the original landscape was from 1973. And so then we approached the board with, can we do more?
But before they could do more, they had to gain approval from the 27 homeowners that are part of the Eucalyptus Hill Homeowners Association.
We were pleasantly surprised when the majority of the homeowners, after a lot of education from Barb Calder, agreed to overwhelmingly voted in.
I think the biggest thing that we did to help get the homeowners on board and get them to agree was we had Aaron Carroll draw a plan for us, and it was in color on a full sheet, and we brought it to the annual meeting last year, and we talked about, and we were all excited, all of us that were on it. The board was excited, and have a color drawing that shows new pathways and all these plants, and then people got excited.
After getting everyone on board with the project, they hired a contractor to remove the lawn and a landscape architect to replace it with a beautiful water-wise garden.
The plant choice out here was kind of driven by the fact that we've got an existing canary palm, an existing queen palm. It's sort of subtropical Mediterranean out here. So we decided to kind of go with succulents and drought-tolerant subtropical type plants. So this is the a blue atlas palm. It's a slow-growing palm. It was chosen here to maintain the views. It won't get too tall in the immediate future, and it's very drought-tolerant. Here's a type of cycad that not everyone is familiar with, Encephalartis species, and these cycads have been around since the dinosaurs, so they're very sturdy plants and quite prehistoric looking and interesting. This is one of my favorite aloes. It's called Aloe Carpinteria Gem, and it gets a bicolored flower of yellow and red, which kind of makes it more interesting than the typical tree aloe. This side of the garden is a lot more dominated by California native plants, because we've got the existing oak trees over here, and this is the western redbud, Cercis occidentalis. It's not in its prime here in the fall, but in the spring it gets a really lovely bloom of pink flowers. Another small patio multi-trunk type tree. This is Arctostaphylos sunset. Gets about 4x4 flowers, will attract birds and butterflies.
What was once nearly 5,000 square feet of turf is now a beautiful water-wise landscape that will require only about 1/3 the amount of water.
Basically, we ripped out all the spray heads for the old lawn, installed new drip valves, put in new backflow preventer with pressure regulator. The pressure here is really high, and drip systems like lower pressures. And we put in a smart irrigation controller and weather sensor on this side of the clubhouse there.
The biggest difference is if you look at the entire area that was landscaped, you went here from watering the entire square footage to, if you look at it this way, say there's 100 plants, you are watering 100 plants in one spot, and each plant might take up a square footage. So you've gone from 1,000 square feet or whatever the number might be to 100 square feet.
In addition to saving water, the homeowners are happy with the look and low maintenance requirements as well.
I think the value to the community is, as a whole, we feel a part of the water saving efforts for the city. And Kathy Paré at the city was excellent and very helpful in her guidance by coming up and walking us through the steps that were needed to get our rebate, and that was very helpful. And I work at Village Properties. I'm a realtor. I do a lot of real estate transactions around the circle, and I've always heard that the landscaping looked too old-fashioned. I think it helps property values overall.
The most rewarding part is to see it. I think the finished job is beautiful. I think Aaron Carroll, our landscape architect, did a great job. It was very fun working with Cold Springs Landscapes, who did the work, and so that for me was the most rewarding part. And I think the community as a whole have been great, very positive.